Hello, long time no see. I am here today to talk about a few things I've been thinking about. One is feminism, two is nature versus nurture, and other happenings in my life. Pardon if it's too quiet here, because I don't remember how loud the sound goes into the camera, so I'm not sure if I'm being perfectly fine talking or if you have to crank your volume all the way up to hear me, because I'm not going to go shouting in the room at the camera trying to get it to hear me, so I'm just going to talk like this and hopefully it's okay. So we were talking about feminism last night because Wes is my fiance, we're talking about it, and he was YouTubing, looking on YouTube for feminist videos. Just kind of searched feminism in there just to see what would come up. And it kind of got me peeved because a lot of the ones he clicked and looked at that were first on the list were feminist-hating people. And I understand hating feminazis, but I really don't understand hating feminists, because there's a huge difference. I mean, people get them mixed up all the time. People hear the word feminist and they think bitch, or they think some controlling woman who wants everything to be about her, or men suck, that kind of stuff. But that's not feminism, that's feminazi. Big difference. And if you look up the word feminist, it means the equality of men and women, standing up for the equality of men and women, and kind of the empowerment of women a bit, but more so the equality. And that is not the same as what people kind of associate with feminism. And so a lot of these videos are about, the feminist leaders are hating on the men, and so I hate feminists, they're bitches, they're always saying men suck, and they think they're better than men. Real feminists don't think they're better than men, and they just don't think of that. I mean, that's not the definition of feminism. It's the twisted, evil feminist version of feminism. So it kind of pisses me off when I see all these videos talking about how they suck, and how they're evil, bitchy, they're angry lesbians or something. But, that's not really it at all. So, I remember my gender psychology teacher was talking, and it was a guest speaker, and she was talking about how we associate the word feminism with something that it isn't, because she talked about how it is about what the definition was, and all of us are feminists. Men, women, are feminists who believe that men and women should be equal. Anyone who thinks men and women should be equal are called feminists. So what the heck is wrong with the word feminism? And why do people associate it with this? I can understand why, because the people who brand themselves as feminists are the ones who are shouting angry things at men, thinking they're better, the leaders who are basically stirring up these hateful feelings, and we don't rely on men anymore kind of things, you shouldn't get married, be on your own, stuff like that, and that's kind of bull. I mean, they can suit themselves, but that's not what feminism is. So I just wanted to clear that up because it's kind of irritating me. But Wes and I were talking about nature versus nurture, which is basically the huge argument about whether with gender a girl is girly because she has the chemical balance of that with how she was born, or if it's society. Same with guys. It's whether or not we're born that way or we're raised that way. And a lot of people fight about this and are trying to figure out what's right, basically. And my point is that a lot of people are not a lot of people, but some people these days who believe that it's all about nurture, believe they can change their kid. Change them so that they're kind of gender neutral, so they're not all girly, and that they're not pressured to be a girl or a boy. And I think that's all good and stuff, but at the same time, some people take it to a kind of an extreme. Kind of like how, I don't want to buy my kid pink or blue kind of thing, which is not a really big issue. But some parents are don't want their kid to be drawn towards dolls or balls or trucks or anything because they don't want them to be sucked in by the media. And therefore they don't let their kids kind of go their own way, even if it's a typical, kind of stereotypical male or female thing to do. And that's when it becomes a problem, because there is some instinct left. I mean, what Wes was talking about last night was that basically we're animals. We probably evolved over years and years and years and years and years, hundreds of years, but it doesn't change the fact that we had a little bit of instinct in us and that we're animals. I mean, the Christian people will probably get mad at me for that, because the fact is they don't believe that at all. No. So they can kind of ignore this point because it doesn't really pertain to their beliefs. But the fact is, we still have some instinct left in us that's kind of like if you look at the animal kingdom, you see that the female is in charge of having the babies and taking care of the babies and sometimes looking for food, while the males fight and protect and all that stuff. And unfortunately for the people of today who don't really want to be stuck in that, there's still a little bit left. Like women who want babies, all of a sudden, it's an instinct, it's a motherly instinct for women to care for their babies and to care a little more than guys sometimes. The main thing that I think you have to keep in mind is that it's only sometimes. We have a little bit of instinct left in us, but I believe it's just because it's our balance, how we're born, what balance we have, Because I don't believe that people are completely male or completely female and that it's always the same, because if you look at the balance of everything, the chemical balance, whatever you want to call it, I can't really be scientific about it because I don't know the facts. It's a little different sometimes. Like with transgendered people, it's a little different. It's not always the same balance. So there's some females who may act very male, and there's some boys who may act very female. And we have to keep in mind that that is true, even though there's some instinct that kind of tends to follow with females and males. So we can't really deny that there's a little bit that kind of tends to come in to it. A little bit of nature, a little bit of what we're born with. Whether we're male or female, there's something that kind of touches to it. The wording is hard to say, but basically, it's not all society, in my belief. Part of it is, some of it is biology, and you can't really change a person and make them act like a female or male depending on how you raise them, because there's going to be some natural control over that. Like, stereotypically, men are more aggressive, girls are more caring, girls like dolls, boys like trucks, and that's unfortunately usually true as a young kid, because my mom tried an experiment once when we were little, and she had a boy, that was her first kid, and she gave him dolls just to see what would happen. She gave him a bunch of dolls, let him play with them, and gave him some kind of boyish toys. And he would gravitate towards the boyish toys, even though she didn't really say anything, didn't really encourage him to play with boy toys, stuff like that. He had kind of a natural gravitational interest in those things. And that wasn't really because she did anything. It was just because that was the way he was born. And it's kind of like how people are born with different personalities. And I think what's really interesting to me is how when we get older, we kind of change it more. Like when we were little, if we were really girly, born a girl, really girly, loved girl toys and stuff, in the future we don't really necessarily do the same thing. And so it's as if for like the first 6 years of life, instinct is like all over us. And then suddenly after like 20 years of life, or 15 or 18, we suddenly kind of go our own way. So that's something to think about. Sorry to bore you.